Hello everyone, Gin here, and today I'm going to be talking about World War II games and a potential return for Call of Duty to World War II as a setting. Which a lot of people have been talking about, but I don't know if it's honestly going to happen, and even if it does happen, what it will be like. So, the CEO of Activision, Eric Hirshberg, said that there are moments where certain ideas seem to be floating in the collective consciousness, and there are two Meteor Hitting the Earth movies in one summer, and we're both in production for years. Those kind of things happen, Hirshberg said, so there's definitely a chasing of innovation and new ideas within a well-worn genre that lead people to similar conclusions like changing time periods. And of course, I think that opens up the opportunity for what is old is new again. A lot of people have thought that this is basically saying this is going to be World War II as a setting returning to Call of Duty, which I think is a possibility. I don't know if it's a great possibility or the accurate possibility. He could mean Modern Warfare, which has been absent since Modern Warfare 3's release in 2011, and it's almost Black Ops 3's release in 2015, and that's 4 years. And the first Modern Warfare game came out in 2007, which is quite a long time ago for computing, but nevertheless, World War II games in the Call of Duty franchise are older, so it could well mean that. Or possibly it means that the next game will have a different engine than other Call of Duty games, kind of like Call of Duty 3 did. But I don't know where a World War II Call of Duty modern shooter would go. I mean, it's basically used up all the places it can go without retreading ground. I'm not saying they couldn't make new levels, I'm just saying in Call of Duty there have been several games where you play as the Americans, the British, and the Russians. And in Call of Duty 3 you could also play as the Polish and the Canadians. But that was really it. You almost always fought the Germans, except in World at War. Then you fought the Japanese as the Americans. But, I mean, there's not that much left to do. There's, of course, been France, occupied France, and Africa, and the Middle East. But a lot of what they could do has already been done several times. Because think about it, in Call of Duty 1 you play as the Americans, the British, and the Soviets, and throughout the entire game you fight the Nazis. That's all you do. And Call of Duty 2, same thing. Call of Duty 3, still the same thing, except instead of Russians, they're the Polish and the Canadians. World at War, well, slightly different because you fight against the Imperial Japanese Army, but still, it's not like there's a ton of themes that you could really recapture from World War II based on what previous games have done. And one possibility is that instead of the Americans, the British, and the Soviets, you could play as the Norwegians, the Italian co-belligerent faction, yes, and that's not an Axis faction. It only was originally part of the Axis, but then it changed to be part of the Allies. And you could also play as the Chinese Army, which I think at the time was either communist or near to being communist. Which, you know, that's not good, but the Soviets were actually communist by that time, so they might have to find a bigger objection. Or a different possibility is quite a controversial possibility. I wouldn't say this has a very good chance of happening at all with any Call of Duty game ever in the future, but you could play as, drumroll, no, I'm just kidding, the Axis. And yes, that means the Germans, the Japanese, and probably the Finnish, due to the Finnish sniper who, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he killed a lot of Soviets by sniping in the winter with a bolt-action rifle with iron sights. Yes, that's right. So imagine something like all gillied up, but with him. That would be amazing. And that's the major thing that Call of Duty games have never done in World War II. It would be incredibly controversial though, because people would be probably opposed to playing as the people we were fighting against in World War II and as the Americans. For my non-American viewers out there, you can please just ignore that last remark. But it would definitely be controversial. Would it be fun? I don't know. Could they make it fun? And I think the most likely return is more Americans, British, and Russians fighting the Germans and possibly the Japanese, I don't know. But if it's that, I'd rather have a futuristic game, I'm being honest here. But thanks for watching, everyone. My next video is probably going to be about remastered Call of Duty games, another thing that Activision has actually made an official statement on. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you later. Gum453 out.